Welcome to DeeTV on a pretty tough day for the footy club, joined by one of the club greats, of course, Russell Robertson. And Robbo, unfortunately, didn't get to play with Robbie, but you knew Rob really well. How are you feeling today?
I'm at a bit of a loss, really, Bergs, to be honest. I know I'm a bit of a jokester on camera a bit, and I have a bit of a laugh, try to see the lighter side of football, but I'm struggling to see the lighter side of it today because of what Robbie was to our football club. And look, it's been tough. It really has, and we've tried to keep a smile on our faces, haven't we? You know, in the last even 10 years, you know, starting with my old mate Brody, and then, you know, we know what's happened in the last. I don't need to mention it, and we're just trying to kick on as much as we can. And Robbie was really helping with all of that. You know, he was helping with the Foundation Heroes. He was helping with our membership, our fans. He was there for our Demon Army. He'd go and sit with those guys. He'd come into functions and just show his face because the Melbourne Football Club meant so much to him. He played in an era, and you'd remember it, mate, where it was a lot of success, and he was playing against teams like Hawthorn and Carlton and Essendon when they were really up and about, and they all asked him to come and play for them and get some success, and he's just, no way, I'm playing for the Melbourne Football Club because I love him.
Talk about Rob as a person you knew. I mean, you got to spend a lot of time with him, as you mentioned, in functions, that sort of thing. Just your thoughts on him as a guy.
Very humble man, Robbie. He didn't like Robbie. He liked Robert or Rob, but we all affectionately know him as Robbie or Tulip. Very humble. Didn't sit well with him that he was regarded as the number one player, and he really was. You know, if it wasn't Ron Barassi, or if it wasn't Norm Smith, or if it wasn't Stewie Spencer, David Neitz, Gary Lyon, he'd sit right there next to them as equally the best. You look at him, and I think he's a real advocate for boys out there everywhere that don't see themselves as footballers because of their body size, or they didn't have great vision as kids. He didn't, and he was thin. Obviously, he was chock full of talent, but he had to fight really hard to play VFL football, and he did, just through this thing here, sheer will. And yes, he had confidence in his ability, but it was certainly a drive in his head. I'm going to play for the Melbourne Football Club, and I'm going to do everything that it takes. When everybody said, "Go away, little boy, you can't play," and he did, and he became. Well, he made the number two. If 31 and number 2 at this football club, the two, I reckon, most famous numbers. I mean, it's got to be there equal with 31 now, number 2, doesn't it?
Yeah. You didn't get to play with him, but you probably watched him in the Apple Isle growing up.
Yeah.
What are your earliest memories of watching Robbie Flower, I guess, on TV and back in Tassie?
Yeah, I mean, you just knew Robbie Flower. At the Melbourne Football Club, you knew Big Carl Dittrich, and you knew Robbie Flower. And then obviously there's some really great players that played for the Melbourne Football Club at that time. We didn't get a lot of footage down in Tassie back when I was a kid. We'd probably get one game a week. And everybody knew who Tulip was. You know, who's this Tulip guy? It's a great nickname to start with. And I had his footy card, and Dad obviously spoke very highly about Robbie Flower. And that's who I remember when I got drafted, thinking, I'm going over to the Melbourne Football Club and I'm going to hopefully play alongside Jimmy Steins, Stephen Tingay, Gary Lyon, Todd Viney. Does Robbie Flower still play? And obviously he was retired a fair bit, for about 4 or 5 years before that. He's going to forever be in the fabric of the Melbourne Football Club. And, you know, the fact that he didn't play in a grand final just adds to that fairy tale. Because of that final series, the game against the Bulldogs, the game against Hawthorn, you know, we're talking 87, you know, around that period. The Melbourne fans speak with a great fondness of that. Yes, it was shattering. We lost to Hawthorn, but it just adds to that, the greatness of Robbie Flower, because everyone was trying to get him to a grand final. I mean, that rarely happens, does it? In one person in a football club, it's a team game, but the love for Robbie Flower amongst the fans and the players, that they were able to drive a team from nowhere to nearly into a grand final. Phenomenal.
Mate, thanks for sharing your words today. It's a really tough day for yourself and for the footy club, and for his family and friends. I mean, he's a great Melbourne icon, and thanks for joining us today, mate.
Yeah, no worries. And look, just to the fans, mate, you and I try to bring a lot of stuff to the fans, and we have a bit of fun, but my message to everyone now is stick fat, stick together, get to our games, get to our football club, do what you can. We do what we can. it's really tough at the moment, and we're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Roosy's doing the right thing. There's some players doing some right things, and we can't wait for next season, can we?
Be great. Thanks, mate. Good.